Hey guys, it is Amy the Relocate Tourist coming to you live once again from my office. It is Monday, March 30th, 2020, going on day, 19 for us as far as self-isolation, quarantine, whatever you want to call it. Whatever floats your boat on that, here we are. So today is beautiful outside. I wear the sweatshirt because it's comfortable inside. So the unfortunate part of Florida, it's like, well, it's 95 degrees outside, but it's freezing inside my house. There's never like a medium temperature. Anyway, today is Moving Mondays. What is Moving Mondays? Well, it is discussion of relocation to Florida. The pros, the cons, the goods, the bads, the ifs, the buts, the whats, whatever you like to discuss about it. We have done it twice. And today I thought I'd discuss something that is near and dear to my heart. That is something that I don't think I gave a lot of thought about when we decided to relocate to Florida, and that is community. Let me start by saying that when I grew up in Wisconsin, I always was surrounded with people from either church or school. I was very blessed in my I almost said past life, in my growing up, in my childhood, to have quite a few friends and people around me all the time. And I had family that was nearby in Wisconsin. First they kind of moved here, and then they kind of moved there, but they were always kind of around. And then I had my brother and obviously my parents, and I just always felt support around me as I was growing up. And as we had our children, we stayed in the Wisconsin area, and I was just felt very blessed that I had my mom and my dad and my brother and everybody still in Wisconsin around us. I like that because it was just a good support system to have when raising little ones. I was scared out of my gourd. I didn't know what I was doing. And I would be probably 10 times terrified if I had to raise my little ones here without them versus back there with having that support system, which is just so incredibly important. It doesn't mean you can't raise your kids without them around, but it's just a nice kind of bonus feature. So as the kids grew up, then they grew up in the church, and we went to church all the time, and I got involved in the homeless shelter over in Appleton, and so I grew with those people, and I just always found certain places, and certain places and people that I just meshed well with, like we all do in life. And what that is you're building a community. And so I've always thrived on that. I've thrived on having my Disney community, the Relocate Tourist community, like-minded people that, for the sake of sounding corny, but very positive-minded people that have a spirit, have a joy for travel, for passion, for the love of life, for just the adventure of what this is. And that is how I found my community for the Relocate Tourist, was through starting the blog back in 2010. So the funny thing is that I didn't realize I was even starting a community. I was just, hey, I'm gonna write about packing up my garage and how freaked out I am, and maybe someone really will read this, maybe some. I had no idea that we were the first relocation blog, and I had no idea that what we were starting, as far as not a movement, but definitely a relocation of, we wanted to be just raw about it. We wanted to be like, look, this is how it is. It's not all, Mickey Mouse and Shamu. It's all this kind of crazy stuff in between. And did you know this? And did you know that? And so community was one of those big ones where you just kind of hold your breath and you don't exhale until you find it, is how I feel about community when you move anywhere. But from Wisconsin to here, I had friends here that I had met through my blog and through the Disney community in general, and they were kind of sprinkled around. And I was so nervous about that because I thought, there are online friendships, as we all know, and then there are online friendships that grow to real friendships and then become even fantastic friendships from that. There's kind of like leveling up, like in a video game. Whereas I was so nervous about that because it was the four of us, and so my family, I had to rely on Craig, and we had to rely on our children had to rely on us, and there was no family to surround us with a fallback system, a support system. So when if we got here, let's say we hated it, or it just wasn't what we thought it was going to be, all this stuff. Like, I was just so worried about that, because there just wasn't a weekend where I could just be like, hey guys, I'm gonna take off to mom's, I'm gonna go up to her house for the day, we're gonna do a little shopping, a little lunch, you know. And that's what I did all the time in Green Bay, back and forth to Appleton. So I didn't realize what community and how important it would be when we got here, because I had the blog, so I felt like I had my community. Even though it was in my computer, I felt like I had that connection somewhat to somebody. But my kids struggled with trying to find friends at school, and they had bullying issues, and it was a mess. And Craig is an introvert, so he had a really hard time just kind of finding people. And we were coming into the situation where, you know, people read the blog and they really liked it and stuff. And so we were just trying to connect with those people, and some we made great connections with, and some people, you know, were repulsed by us, and that's just life, you know. So all that to say is that community is a big thing when you move, and that to set it and put it in place right away is my best tips are definitely find a church. And if you're not of faith, then get into some type of, your kids get into some type of group, whether it's Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, whether it's you know, a football league, or soccer or something. Get your kids into sports, or get your kids into after school programs. Definitely, because schools are not only still spread apart out here, but it was really hard for my kids to connect to anybody. And even with churches, you know, we went to First Baptist. It is a ginormous church. And so you'd have to get to like mini church groups to even like connect with anybody. I was in the choir for a year, and I got to know a couple people, but a couple people in a choir that was like 4 times the size of the one from Appleton Alliance. And that was really hard to swallow that fear, and swallow that your pride, because I came from a choir where everyone knew me. You know, I like to be the class clown and joke around. I love the friends I had in choir. I felt just a joy and a connection with them, and I thought, oh my gosh, like what have I done? When I first walked into First Baptist, I was terrified, you know. And it's a beautiful church, but some of these mega churches are very hard to get connected to, because it's just, you got to volunteer. And that church is where I found the Clothing Closet, and I was a director for a homeless ministry, which was phenomenal. It was one of my favorite jobs I've had in my lifetime. But it's just getting to that step. And so the biggest thing I just want to talk to you guys about is just community is so important, because you can feel so sheltered here. You can feel like, okay, we took this was our family, okay? We took this giant leap, and I can't believe we did it. We're rock stars. We're so proud of ourselves, and we're trying to like lift ourselves up, you know, like we did this, we got this. So in the midst of trying to figure out furniture, your home, the new rules of Florida, the new road rules, how people drive, from trying to find your food stores, all that. And if you don't have even a layer of online community to kind of lean on for, do you know the best place to find this? Or do you know the best pool person for this? It is terrifying, because you just kind of feel like you're just kind of bobbing there out in the sea, in the ocean, and everyone that you knew is just kind of standing on land, like waving, and you're like, can somebody help me here? Like, that's how it feels, and it's terrifying. And so the community that I felt in Appleton, which was church and my ministries and all the things from school, the kids, all the you know, where your kids meet other kids, and you get to know their moms, and some, like all those networking things, and all the teachers I knew, and all those just flittered away when we got to Florida. And it was just so scary. And so community is by far the biggest thing. So if you have a solid community where you live now, and Florida isn't a necessity, it's just something like, hey, it's an adventure like our family did, it's something you really seriously have to think about. It doesn't mean you can't make a new one, but it will take years. The total of time now that we have been in Florida will be about around 8-ish years here. And I can tell you that to this day, my strong community is online. It's you guys, it is my relocated tourists, it's everybody that follows me and has followed our venture, of our family, of myself personally, and who I've gotten to be good friends with. And I can tell you, I feel like I have a good community of people behind me that, you know, I think I recently talked about it in a vlog where we broke down to Tennessee. I immediately think I'm going to go on Facebook. I'm going to go to Facebook, say, are any of my friends here in Tennessee willing to help me out? I have this problem. Are you around? That is powerful stuff, because I had 3 people, you know, stand up and say, what can I do? How can I help you? And try to help us out. So thank you if you're watching. You know who you are. And that is a big deal. You know, it's a big deal. I feel a big deal when someone reaches out to me and says, Amy, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? I do everything in my power to help people out, because I just know that feeling. And I feel like that is strong community. You can call it friendship, you can call it something else, but I feel like it's just a group of people that you can just rely on, and that definitely feel that I think it just nourishes the soul in general. You know, if you're not of faith and a church doesn't do anything for you, you know, or join a group, or join sewing, or golf, or, you know, go golfing and have, you know, your hubby meet the friends, you know, meet some more friends. Or there's some arcade I gotta go check out in Claremont. I'm gonna go up there sometime, and maybe there's a group of people there that I'll meet. I'm always up for, there's meetup groups online that now, you know, you can sign up and meet them. I'm in a bunch of Disney groups that way as well. So it is really important. I can't stress enough how important it is, because I can tell you the bad side of not having community. And when we were first here and the sprinkling of friends we had, it was nice to know they were here, but it wasn't that strong level. It wasn't that level of, you know, my dear friend Kim. It wasn't the level of people where I could call them and say, oh my gosh, like, I'm having a nervous breakdown. Like, was this the right idea? Was this the right, you know, did we just screw this whole thing up? Like, I was terrified. And, you know, I needed that one friend that could come over and just be like, hey, I'm gonna take her to Magic Kingdom and let's go get it, you know, a Casey's hot dog. Oh, I miss my Disney. Let's go get a hot dog and a soda, and we'll go ride, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean. You'll feel better. I didn't have anyone like that here yet. And so it is critically important that you do find community, that you get plugged into it right away. I had a friend who was brand new to my church back in Appleton. And I remember it was like her first week, and she already tried out for choir, was in the choir, tried out for the play, got one of the best parts in the play, and tried out for something else. Literally the week she moved to Appleton. And I remember looking at her being like, girl, you don't waste any time, you know? And she's like, why? She's like, I want to meet friends. I want to meet people. This is the best way to do it. And I was like, bravo. That's really smart. So yeah, if I could do something over, is there something I regret? I would definitely say that I would have set myself up much faster with a church, with a group, with some type of bigger meetup than the light little Disney ones, just because I could have made some super real connections with people. And I'm blessed. I'm so blessed that when someone reaches out to me and says, I haven't made any friends here, or I'm not connecting with anybody, you want to hang out or have dinner, I love that, because I'm like, absolutely. Tell me a date, tell me a time, let's hang out, let's just, you know, talk about life and girl talk and get the heck out of the house, because I know we all need it right now. So if you're one of those people that live here in Florida, or you're coming to Florida and you're like, I'm not gonna have any friends, I don't know what I'm doing, please private message me, or you can email me at relocatedtourist@yahoo.com. My name is Amy Peterman. I am more than happy to talk to you. I am more than happy to help you out, because I know how it feels. And I feel like the biggest thing that we can do for all of each other on this planet is reach out and connect. And I don't feel like anyone should ever feel sad. Anyone should ever feel left out. That it is my goal to help anybody in our situation how we felt when we got here, and how to avoid that as much as possible, of saying, here, embrace. You know, here's a hug, here's a dinner, let's hang out. I'm always one for following up. If you want to hang out again, I love it. So community is a big part of it. Make it a priority just as much as your moving expenses, just as much as schools. Put it in your top 10 of most important things to deal with. So, and make it into a physical list, put it on your fridge, because it'll help the whole family when you get here, and you'll just feel better in the end, knowing, okay, I made that step. Maybe I won't make as many friends as I thought I would, or connections, but you started it and you feel good that you're trying. So I hope this helps. I will see you guys next week, Monday, because I'm sure we'll all be home for the next month or so, or even longer, who knows. But silver lining, right? We're all safe. So let's be safe at home. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.